Hi, everyone. So I'm Joy, and I'm the president of Integrals. Thank you so much for participating and joining us this past weekend. I'm so excited to be able to meet all of you today, and I'm always so blown away when I hear where our puzzlers come from. So this time we had over 600 participants and 240 teams from over 50 countries, all 7 continents, and 2 different planets. We actually had a team who claims they're from Mars. So, if that's true, you all just participated in our first ever interplanetary puzzle hunt. Integral's Puzzle Hunt Fall 2020 is the product of months of hard work from our puzzle, graphic design, and tech development teams. So we can move ahead one slide. Um, we have 7 other puzzle writers. So Adam, who unfortunately can't be with us today, he is our head puzzle writer for Puzzle Hunt 2. Julie, Laura, Matt, Shrikar, Vishal, and Zain. Our graphic designer, Maggie, is also the artist behind our pretty posters that you guys may have seen on our Instagram page and the unique backgrounds and drawings in each of our puzzles. Our director of tech operations and development is Minji, who also developed our entire puzzle hunt platform, Infinity, from scratch. So now that you've met us, let's get to know you all with some hunt stats.
All right, so we're going to be talking about some of the hunt stats from during the hunt. So after the hunt, we sent out this Google form asking you guys about your favorite puzzles, what you found difficult, what you enjoyed about the hunt overall. And these were some of the things that you said. So you said that your favorite puzzle was the astronomer from the first round or the first half of puzzles. And your least favorite was Evil Queen, which is from the second half of the puzzles. Okay, and then here are the puzzle solves, which is kind of interesting, but also makes sense because the most solves is our first puzzle, the inorganic chemist, and the fewest is the villains, which was actually our last meta. We will have more of these like statistics and other cool information in our wrap up that will be coming out really soon after this award ceremony. Yeah, so next Minji will be talking about Infinity.
Yeah, hi. I'm Minji. I'm currently a first-year student at Berkeley, and we designed this Infinity platform because we had a pretty catastrophic failure last season on it. This is the icon for Infinity, and Euler is the little platform that sends you the notifications about announcements and like alerts to tell you to drink water, and also the what is it called? Refreshes or whatever. So yeah, let's take a quick look at what has made this puzzle hunt okay. This is from last season, from this spring, which we can see the total request here is 214.96 thousand during the peak hour, which is usually the first hour. And if you take the next slide, it will say next slide. This is our entire like complicated system, which I'll go into if you're interested in my tech Reddit post, which is separate from the Reddit post that Laura just mentioned, which will be published sometime next week. We actually hit a lot more traffic with a lot less of you participating this time. So, and we didn't actually catastrophically fail. So thank you all for treating my servers and platform nicely. Thank you so much. And you can see this is the next slide is me struggling across the night, trying to figure out what's going on and pushing hot fixes. So if you are seeing those 502s from time to time, yes, that's me, and I'm fully aware of it. I'm sorry. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this hunt, and hopefully I'm also open to any suggestions. And we have a lot of surprises coming for you next season. So feel free to let me know if any thoughts or ideas about the platform. The platform is also fully open source. It's on GitHub, and it's also linked on the platform now. Yeah, and with that, I'm going to kick it off to Matthew, who is going to be answering some of the questions you had on the forum.
Hi, yeah. So before I start answering questions, I just want to note that we had a thread on the forum where we asked people if they had questions for us beforehand, and so we'll be answering some of those now. But if you have any questions that you didn't ask on the forum, feel free to ask them in chat. And once we are done with the 2 questions we have from the forum, we'll be happy to get to any questions you might have here. So with that, we can get to the first forum question, which is from Space Girl. And the question is, which hidden Disney princess references did you find in World 1? And we're not going to answer that question. Yeah, that's for you to find out. But if you want a hint for where to look, I would recommend looking at the descriptions of the puzzles before the puzzles themselves for the first half of the puzzles. The second question is kind of a mix of 2. It's Orange's question, how do you go about making a puzzle? And Emerald's question, how do you get puzzle ideas? So to answer this question, we're going to go through the process of writing one puzzle, which is Ursula, because I think it, partially because it's my puzzle and I like talking about things that I did, and also because I think it gives a pretty good microcosm of what our hunt was like, and especially how it differed from last time. So it starts with a theme, which is that when Vishal, who can't be here but wrote the puzzle with me, and I were playing Scribble.io, which is a game where you draw things and people try to guess what you've drawn. And we were playing specifically with themes around the titles of books, and we realized sometimes it's easier to just describe the titles of the books than it is to describe anything about the books themselves. And both Vishal and I really enjoyed doing this. And also Vishal, as it turned out, is a really good artist. And so I figured, hey, why don't we put it in a puzzle where we can make other people do this thing that we enjoyed doing so much? So hence we have this puzzle around identifying drawings of pictures of the titles of books. Now, the second half came from a mix of 2 places. It came from other puzzle hunts we did, where we liked, and in other puzzle hunts we did, I really enjoyed the step of trying to identify things like that. And also from Hidden Figures from last hunt, which I really enjoyed the kind of visual step of writing, of discovering letters. So we come up with the mech. Now, 2 months later, we have the first draft of the puzzle. And Julie, can you go to the next slide? Sorry, we have the first draft of the puzzle, and you can see it looks a little bit close. So we have Ursula, which is kind of a lucky, going to be able to go to Ursula Le Guin was a little bit of a lucky kind of thing. And we also had the answer come to us from the meta. So we wrote the metas first and then went with the answers. So you can see the interesting thing about this is, like, the first draft was just unsolvable. I was having issues for a long time with having the borders in the right place for the puzzle. If you haven't solved the puzzle, sorry, but the way it works is you kind of turn the puzzle and match the borders. And so you have the directions to turn the images in certain ways, but the borders weren't lining up with that. And so we figured that out in test solving. That's kind of the motto, biggest thing we did differently from last time is we test solved puzzles like 5 or 6 times. So the first one is Adam test solved and had ideas, and then Julie and Laura. And we eventually started refining the text, refining those texts over and over again. And then Julie and Zain had this great suggestion of using underlines for the text. I say this basically to emphasize that while there are only 2 people that had writing credits on this puzzle, at least 6 people, and I think everybody on the team, had some sort of suggestion that made its way into the final puzzle. So basically, going to the next slide, where we have the comparing of the final draft to the first draft, the things are the kind of morals of the story are, when you're looking for a puzzle theme, make people do something you like doing, basically was the moral of this, and then test solve your puzzles, just like you polish and edit anything else. You polish and test solve and edit and make the puzzles much better. And as you can see, none of the pictures are exactly the same. The flavor text has changed. All the cipher texts have changed. The puzzle is similar in spirit, but everything had changed since the first draft. And the last thing is work with your team, because the people on their team are great. Everybody had something to say, and so everybody works together much better as a team. So with that, I don't see any live questions in the chat currently, but if people have any, they should feel free to ask them.
Go for it. You could ask about any specific puzzles. You could ask about our process.
All right.
So
there's
I
the-
see two questions right now. So to address Emerald's first question, how's the Wi-Fi on Mars? I personally don't know, but there is a team who claims they're from Mars. So I would say we can reach out to them and see how the Wi-Fi is. But they did solve quite a few puzzles, so I think their Wi-Fi is pretty good. And the second question, did you guys stay up all night during the hunt? It depends. I just remember I'm on a different time zone from some of the other members, so I got to so like in like the earlier hours. I just remember because we have a lot of puzzlers from Asia who are 12 hours ahead, so so like midnight for us is like noon for them. So we stayed up pretty much all night. We were staffed the whole time. And me being a few hours behind from the East Coast also helped out with that a little bit. But yeah, so I'll let the others answer the other questions.
Oh, I see a question from Nora. What princesses did you all get on the BuzzFeed quiz? We actually did the BuzzFeed quiz on one of those like late nights, I think. What did I get? I think I got like
Moana, maybe?
yeah, I think I got Moana. I
I
think
know I got Sleeping Beauty.
yeah. I think Joy kept on getting Intergirls or something.
Yeah, I kept getting the Intergirls team. Like I even like switched it around a bunch of times. And I got the Intergirls team.
Somebody asked me to do this when I was doing the questions, so I got a Vanellope.
What princess did you get? Or did anybody else get it? Oh, ambassadors. So our ambassador program is still alive. And if you want to do it, you can just email one of us. Ambassadors get surface hours for emailing people in their area about the puzzle hunt.
All right, should we move on to the awards?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And
Any
Nora says
questions?
she got Sleeping Beauty too. We talked to Nora a bit afterwards, and I know it might be confusing that her name said Integrals, but a bunch of Integrals participants, chapter member leaders actually competed, but we were super careful to make sure that like our puzzle team was separate from our math team. And so we refrained from talking about the puzzles to any of them before, even though it was hard.
And if there are any other questions, feel free to drop them like anytime. We'll address them like afterwards as well. Right.
Next is the award ceremony, so we'll go over all the top teams from this hunt. Okay, so first we'll start with the middle school division. There are 14 teams that completed all the way up to the first meta, which is the middle school part of the hunt. So you need to complete the first meta to win as a middle schooler. So congratulations to all 14 teams that won. And here are the 6th through 14th teams. So congratulations to all of these teams. And now we're going to go over the top 5 teams. The 5th place team was Alpha Sigma Kappa from Singapore. Congratulations, guys. The 4th place team was Mu and Poo, again from Singapore. The 3rd place team was Team GEJA from New Zealand. The 2nd place team was Dorito Squad from Singapore. And finally, the winner of the middle school division is Mad Watermelon from USA and South Korea. So congratulations to Amber, Michelle, and Dine for completing this hunt, being the first one in the middle school division.
Mad Watermelon didn't only win the middle school division, but they finished every puzzle. So extra shout out to them.
Oh yeah, true. I think they're the only middle school team to do that. So really good job, guys. Okay, now this is the high school teams that won. There are 21 teams. These teams completed both the first meta and the second meta and did the BuzzFeed quiz, so good job. So I'll wait a second, let you guys see all these team names. Okay, and then the 5th place team in the high school division is team name not found from the United States. The 4th place team is derived div from the United States. The 3rd place team is Vitamin C Squad from the United States. The 2nd place team is Bean Squad 2.0 from the United States. And finally, the high school winner of the hunt is Ubiquitous Blanket from the United States. Congratulations to Nora, Casey, Maya, and Alicia for being the first one to complete the hunts. Woo!
And congratulations to everybody who competed. Even if you just did a couple puzzles, they were a real challenge and we enjoyed a lot. We hope you did too. And we'd like to remind you guys that we're having a math competition in a week, so sign up with your nearest chapter if you're in the US. And if you're outside the US, you can go to integrals.org/math and sign up on a I'm not near a chapter form, and we'll pair you with a chapter. We're gonna have team math competition rounds as well as fun games and speakers and things.
All right, yeah. And Julie, so we are actually really excited to announce that our math competition is actually sponsored by XPi. So they will be offering daily challenge packages to participants. So definitely sign up. And we hope to see you November 21st at our math competition.
Thanks for coming, guys. That's the end. If you have any other questions, you can put them in the chat, but that's all we got. See you next year.